Hello and welcome back to another great episode of hashtag Screw the W2. And today's guest we have Sonia Rockville. Shout out to Yona Weiss, another one that I networked from a LinkedIn challenge. If I just interview people from the LinkedIn challenge from Yona Weiss's connections, I will have recordings out to probably 2030. But with that, Sonia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John, for having me on, and definitely a shout out to for the challenge.
You bet. So now maybe you can, for my listeners, can you just take us back to, back in time, if you will? What was your previous or last W-2 job? What was it like? What'd you do, or what was an average day like?
Right. Yeah. So I worked at a financial services company. I was in the finance organization.
Okay.
I've been there for many years. I had a great experiences with the people that I worked with, and
Okay.
I kind of moved up progression wise through the organization. Day to day, and I guess maybe I focused more on the last role that I had there. It was, I had a team. We were coordinating a lot of analysis and reporting. So it was a very heavy reporting and analysis role.
Okay.
Worked with some, like I mentioned, some great people, but day to day, there were definitely some really long hours to produce a lot of the reports and pulling everything together for our business partners and senior leadership.
Gotcha. So, and on that note, and some of us and back in the day, I remember putting in long hours with my job. But what was was there one pivotal moment, or maybe even like a series of moments where it just maybe kind of clicked or sunk in, where I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I can't see myself doing this to till I'm 65 or 67, or what was that, tipping point, if you will?
Yeah, so John, I would say it was really a series of things. I was thinking, as I moved into different roles, and I was happy to get the different roles or the promotions, but I was thinking, okay, where do I really see myself? Like, what what am I going to do next? What's the next role that I'm going to go for?
Mm,
And there was a period of time I just kept on thinking about the fact that I couldn't really see myself in what that next role would look like,
okay.
and also just you know really contemplating what is I really doing, what
Yeah.
am I really doing
Yeah.
in this job. And granted, great company, but I felt like there could be more that I
Okay.
could be doing, and something that was more fulfilling to me. So
Gotcha.
those are the things that I started having, a lot of questions I started asking myself, and then I started reading books, and
Mhm.
and I found Rich Dad Poor Dad, like
I think
so many
everyone's
other
read that
people
book that's
have.
been on the show. Yep.
Yeah, and that really helped to really just change and shift my thinking.
Gotcha. So, all right now, when you mentioned this, shift in thinking and just going, wanting more, fulfillment in life, so to speak. From that point on, what were your next steps to, get out of the rat race, so to speak? And then how long did that take you from the time you had the realization to the time you said, see you later?
Right, right. Well, as it turned out, there were a lot of organizational changes at my company.
Okay.
So a group of us had actually gotten laid off.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and while it was devastating at the time because I had spent so many years at the company, but what I realized was this was really an opportunity to really take a step back and think
Hmm.
about what I wanted to do next. And so I thought about, applying to a role in another group or going to a competitor because I could have done that also.
Okay.
And then I just thought, you know what? This is a good reset. And I'd been thinking about real estate. How could I make real estate work for me now that I have this time? And it was such a moment of feeling, both sad and then at the same time kind of relieved, because I was thinking, okay, now I can think about something else.
Yeah, makes sense. So, and then with that, like I said, I know you got, well, maybe you remember this day quite vividly, but was your, like you said, it was kind of a devastating, but also an opportunity. What was your, I say it to all my guests, what was your freedom day, even though this was the day that you got laid off, obviously?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I think the Freedom Day for me was a day when the day that I had gotten an acceptance into a real estate program
Okay.
right before I left the organization.
Okay, gotcha.
And it was a fantastic timing because I was going to start maybe like a week or two after I was leaving. And I knew then that I had a plan that, I
Okay.
was talking to another colleague of mine at the company. He mentioned this program, and I took an action and I applied for it. I applied for that. I started, joining real estate organizations. I joined a multifamily investing group. So I just started doing a bunch of different things, and I was happy that a door opened up,
Okay.
and it was an opportunity for me to say, "Hey, this is another path, and it can work." Because I feel a lot of times that we do the whole schedule of trying to get good grades and going to this good
Yep.
school and doing all these things and feeling that you're safe, but you're not safe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think, even just looking back, I mean, now we're, 3+ years past the, COVID pandemic, the lockdowns, and, I can't remember how many millions of people got laid off. And it's just like, I think everyone realized there's no such thing as a safe and secure job, whether you had a 4.0 or a 0.40 during college. And, I just think having one source of income where someone could just walk in and say, yep, you're done today, that's probably about the riskiest position one person can be in.
Right. And we don't think about it day to day because that's where we're kind of all going through the same model of
Mhm.
do well and get that good job and then retire at the company. But so much has changed
Yeah,
over the years.
exactly. So now looking back, I know you said unfortunately got, laid off your position. Obviously it was an opportunity, started getting into real estate. Looking back though, however many years that was, is there any I shouldn't say regrets because you didn't leave willingly, but is there anything you really miss, or, like, gosh, I really wish I had this like I did when I had my W-2 job?
Yeah, for that, I would say that at first I missed my colleagues because
Okay.
it was really great. I worked with really great people.
Okay.
But what's good about now is that you can also pick the people that
Yeah.
you're going to be working with. So, but I did work with some great people. I
Okay.
would say that, if I were to go back in time and just think about the progression of W-2 and just being in there, I would say, I would have made my W-2 work for me a little bit better.
Okay.
So, in other words, one of the things that you can do with a W-2 is, and this is something that I did is, buy your home.
Yeah.
Because it's a little harder to do that when you have you don't have a W-2 salary, and the bank
Right.
can't just take that W-2 and apply it to
Yeah.
how much you can afford. So that's something that I did do, which
Okay.
but what I would say is if I had thought more about doing real estate investing earlier, that I could have not only had, I could have had more properties, even smaller ones,
Hmm.
that we could have more easily purchased, with having like a W-2 income, because if you do smaller size deals,
Yeah,
then you can do
exactly.
that.
Yeah, I've always kind of found that ironic with the whole banking industry. If you walk in, it's like, yeah, here's my W-2 from well, at the time of this recording, Pac West is on, shall we say, shaky ground. You go into a bank, oh sure, we can use this as verified income, not a problem. But if you come in, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I bring in 7 figures. I've been in business since 2007. I have no corporate debt, yada yada. Well, I don't know. We're gonna have to really
Yeah.
check into this because this could be risky for
You
us
seem
to
like a
approve.
risk. You seem
Yeah,
like,
yeah. But
and yeah, it's like you can't have it both ways.
yeah, it's a topic for another discussion or another recording. So,
For
um,
sure.
now on that, on the other note, like you said, you miss your colleagues. You had, thankfully, really great coworkers. It wasn't like you were gosh, I hated all my employees or it was a toxic work environment. But on that note, on the flip side, since you left the W-2, you started investing in real estate, started doing your own thing. What's been the best thing about your journey since then?
I would say I would still say it's the people. It's
Okay.
the people that I've gotten to work with along the way. The joint ventures that I've had, the property management teams that we got to work with, and then to really know what's really rewarding is to really know that you are making a difference in someone's life. You're providing a basic need
Hmm.
to other people, and in our case we also have investors, and we're working to get the best returns for them. So I really like the fact that you're making a difference in the lives of the people who are your customers, and the people who are also your investors at the same time.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Now, well, this next question, I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach. I usually ask my guests, if you're talking to someone that is maybe just stuck in their W-2, they don't feel comfortable leaving and starting an entrepreneurship. But let's take a different spin on this. Let's just say someone's listening to this. They unfortunately just got let go, or maybe they hear rumblings that, oh, there's pink slips coming. I might be here another 2 weeks, another 3 weeks. Gosh, what do I do? What advice would you, maybe advice of encouragement, would you give them as far as, yes, I know you're losing your job or have lost your job, but this is what I think is an opportunity.
Right. So I would say the first thing I would say is, don't let what happened in the company define who you are.
Okay.
Because a lot of times people, they introduce themselves and they say, "Hi, I'm so and so, and I work at such
Yep.
and such."
It's part of our
And
identity.
so, right. And then that's almost like you feel like you lose that, because who am I now that I'm not attached to this other entity? Don't feel that way. You're your own person, and there's life for you, and maybe a better one, most
Yeah.
likely a better one, aft on the other side.
Okay.
So I would say, I would definitely say, feel that yes, there is a loss. There is a loss
Hmm.
that's there, and it is disappointing. However, there's an opportunity for you to do so much more, and you're not limited to what you had before. And I think sometimes it's almost overwhelming at the level of freedom that you have,
Yeah.
and the amount of choices that you can make, because it's almost like there's so many. But follow your passion, and dig deep into it,
Yeah.
and find the things to do to make you happy.
Sounds good. Great advice. Now, as we close this out, and again, I want to, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule, and glad we're able to finally be able to make this work for this recording. Started dubbing this the hashtag unscrewed moment. If there's anything you want to share with my listeners as far as like, what projects you're working on, anything you're excited about, in the next 6, 12, 18 months, or how they can connect with you, or I'll, just say the floor is yours to uh say whatever you want or share whatever you want.
Sure. Well, thanks again for having me on. If anybody would love to reach out to me, you can find me on LinkedIn at Sonia
Okay.
Rockville. You can also reach me at my website, Bedrock Real Estate, Bedrock RE Investors
Okay.
dot com, RE like real estate, dot com. And I'm really excited. Over the next few months, we're working on a pipeline of
Cool.
deals, and always looking for people who are interested to invest in multifamily, either as an active investor or as a passive investor.
Sounds good. And for all those listening or watching or whatnot, feel free to check out the show notes. I'll have those links as in clickable format so you can reach out as your schedule permits and see if you can make an investment work. So, with that, thanks for coming on the show and wish you the best of the year and going forward in your ventures.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.